Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd Canto, Chapter 20, Text number 4. Kimmanva prucchan maitreyam virajastirtha sevaya pagamya kushavarta asinam tattvittamam. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidura was purified of all passion by wandering in sacred places, and at last he reached Haridwar, where he met the great sage who knew the signs of spiritual life, and he inquired from him. Shaunaka Rishi therefore asked, what more did Vidura inquire from Maitreya? Purport. Here the words Virajas Tirtha Sevaya refer to Vidura, who was completely cleansed of all contamination by travelling to places of pilgrimage. In India there are hundreds of sacred places of pilgrimage, of which Prayaga, Haridwara, Vrindavan and Rameshwara are considered principal. After leaving his home, which was full of politics and diplomacy, Vidura wanted to purify himself by travelling to all the sacred places, which are so situated that anyone who goes there automatically becomes purified. This is especially true in Vrindavana. Any person may go there, and even if he is sinful, he will at once contact an atmosphere of spiritual life and will automatically chant the names of Krishna and Radha. That we have actually seen and experienced. It is recommended in the Shastras that after retiring from active life and accepting the Vanaprastha retired order, one should travel everywhere to places of pilgrimage in order to purify himself. Vidura completely discharged his duty, and at last he reached Kushavarta or Haridwar, where the sage Maitreya was sitting. Another significant point is that one must go to sacred places not only to take bath but to search out the great sages like Maitreya, take instructions from them. If one does not do so, his travelling to places of pilgrimage is simply a waste of time. Narottam Das Thakur, a great Acharya the Vaishnava sect, has for the present forbidden us to go to such places of pilgrimage because in this age the times have so changed. A sincere person may have a different impression on seeing the behavior of the present residents of the pilgrimage sites. He has recommended that instead of taking the trouble to travel to such places, one should concentrate his mind on Govinda, and that will help him. Of course, to concentrate one's mind on Govinda in any place is a path meant for those who are more spiritually advanced. It is not for ordinary persons. Ordinary persons may still derive benefit from travelling to holy places like Prayaga, Mathura, Vrindavana and Haridwar. It is recommended in this verse that one find a person who knows the signs of God or a tattvavit. Tattvavit means one who knows the absolute truth. There are many pseudo-transcendentalists even at places of pilgrimage. Such men are always present, and one has to be intelligent enough to find the actual person to be consulted. Then one's attempt to progress by travelling to different holy places will be successful. One has to be freed from all contamination. At the same time, he has to find a person who knows the signs of Krishna. Krishna helps a sincere person, as stated in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Guru Krishna Prasade. By the mercy of the spiritual master and Krishna, one attains the path of salvation, devotional service. If one sincerely searches for spiritual salvation, then Krishna, being situated in everyone's heart, gives him the intelligence to find a suitable spiritual master. By the grace of a spiritual master like Maitreya, one gets the proper instruction and advances in his spiritual life. Thus ends the Bhaktivedanta purport. So, before the nectarian transcendental questions from Vidura and answers from Maitreya, the conversation between Maitreya and Vidura. It is mentioned here that Vidura reached Haridwar, and that is where he met Maitreya. And before even reaching Haridwar, Vidura has been wandering in sacred places. And it is said here that by wandering in sacred places, he was purified of all passion. Being purified of all passion automatically means he is situated in Sattva-guna. Three modes of material nature. Our lower mode is mode of ignorance, mode of passion, then there is mode of goodness. Material world, every living entity's consciousness is influenced by the three modes of material nature. What are the three modes of material nature? Three modes of material nature is three characteristic ways in which the material nature acts upon the living entity. How the three modes of how the material nature interacts with the kshetrajna. Three modes of material nature is arising from the kshetra, and the three characteristic way in which the soul, consciousness acts. Matter and matter acts, isn't it? We know law of gravity. Also between the matter there is so many laws that are there operating. There is laws of physics, laws of chemistry, so many things. But then the material nature acts on the consciousness, acts on the living symptoms, acts on living entity, living person. Three modes of material nature is how the material nature acts on the thinking, feeling, willing of the living entity. The material nature itself does not think, feel and will. When the living entity is influenced and conditioned by the three modes of material nature, he thinks in a particular way, feels in a particular way, he acts in a particular way. So our original situation is that our thinking is pure. Pure thinking, pure feeling, pure willing. Pure thinking that I am part and parcel of Krishna, I am servant of Krishna. Pure feeling is attachment, loving attachment to Krishna. Pure willing is engaging in service of the Supreme Lord and no one else. Being the servant of the servant of the servant. So this is our pure state of thinking, feeling and willing. In the material world also, the fallen living entities is also thinking, feeling and willing. But see what happens to thinking. Thinking, feeling and willing is classified, the contaminated or fallen consciousness is classified as tamasic thinking, feeling, willing, rajasic thinking, feeling and willing, and sattvic thinking, feeling and willing. And then pure thinking and feeling, which is free from three gunas. And in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna reveals how to identify these three modes of material nature. What is the characteristic influence upon thinking, feeling and willing of a person in the mode of goodness, passion and ignorance. A person in the mode of tamoguna is completely in 100% bodily concept of life. That is his thinking. I am this body. And his feeling, a person in the mode of goodness, his feeling is that he is completely selfish. He only cares for his feelings, his bodily feelings, his bodily emotions. And his willing is completely whimsical. Whimsical activity. You cannot, the willing capacity is there in the material world also. The spiritual world, the willing capacity is pure. In the material world, the willing capacity is colored by Rajasic, Tamasic and Sattvic gunas. The same willing capacity. So the same willing capacity, a living entity in the mode of ignorance, he does not know what to act, what not to act, simply acts like an animal. There is no higher intelligence that is guiding. If at all it is guiding, to that degree there is higher modes. But total mode of ignorance means whimsicality. Sometimes we also see in our consciousness, something we want to do means whoever tells anything, we won't care. We will do it. And you won't have any reason for it. Probably all the reasons are also telling, don't do, don't do. Your intelligence is telling, everybody is telling, your mind is telling, everybody is telling, but still I will do it. Tamasic free will is like that. Tamasic free will is not backed by knowledge, or neither is it backed by Rajoguna. Rajoguna means there is a goal. Your free will is directed by a goal to achieve. Tamasic free will is nothing but immediately he wants a sense of I am everything, I can do what I want. That is tamasic influence upon the willing capacity of the, pure willing capacity of the living entity is contaminated by whimsicality, whimsical actions. There is tamoguna. The rajoguna, the thinking again is still that I am this body. Thinking is I am this body. And his feeling is, he's got much more finer sense gratification. Not simply his gross senses to enjoy, he has got a perception of how to enjoy name, fame, success, all these kind of things, rasa. The person in tamoguna is feeling is only sensuality, sensual rasa. A person in mode of passion is sensual plus, sensual means that much tamoguna is there, but little more passion. There is nothing pure passion, pure ignorance or pure goodness. So one who is in the mode of passion, along with the sensuality, rasas for sensual things. Person who is predominantly in the mode of passion, sensuality may not be the big factor. The person is completely absorbed in achieving something, succeeding in something. He is a person who is addicted to success rasa. And he feels very depressed when he fails. And because of the success rasa that drives him, he goes in intense activity, he goes after his goal. I have to get that. Goes after that goal. That goal is a personal goal, bodily goal. Name, fame for body. This is mostly seen with people who are entangled in family life. They want social name, social prestige, position in society, and they work very hard for that. They try to create wealth, because wealth is a measurement in society of how successful you are. Influence, power, money power, All these things are simply the person's mind is continuously working on this. Is a family-centered man. And working towards name, fame, success for him and his extended bodies, his wife, children, society, everything. And that is continuously driving him. So his willing, his decision making, everything is centered around that. Bodily concept of life, but finer aspects of bodily concept of life. For a subtle body, he is trying satisfaction for a subtle body. Name, fame, adoration. Name rasa, fame rasa, puja rasa. Along with sensuality. Now all these things are, just see, everything is, the soul is forgotten, but the soul's thinking, feeling, willing is completely diverted towards the body. In tamoguna to one level, rajoguna towards another level. Towards body means I am the body, the false ego. The soul is, no service is done to the soul, whereas soul is dragged away. Soul's potential is dragged away into a false living, false thinking, feeling and willing. Then Sattva-guna is a characteristic way in which the material energy acts upon the thinking, feeling, willing of a living entity, which will give him enlightenment or knowledge to see things as they are, both in relative world as well as if he is in association with transcendental knowledge, then he has a fundamental platform to understand this higher knowledge, this knowledge beyond this material world. That those who are in Sattva-guna, they start relishing freedom from ignorance, transcendental knowledge, and start experiencing finer sense of free will or freedom. Knowledge brings that finer sense of freedom, or our experience of free will, which is closer to spiritual free will, which is actually absolutely free. Unconditioned free will it is. So in Sattva-guna you develop a sense of great freedom, knowledge, and that brings happiness. One gets conditioned to happiness, peace. A person in Sattva-guna is governed by peace and happiness. A person in Rajo-guna is conditioned by obtaining the goal, achieving the goal. A person in mode of ignorance is just immediately momentary sensuality want, that's all. Animals are after momentary sensuality. Rajoguna is little more long term. Momentary plus little long term. Because for him to have fruitive activity, fruit is far away. I'll start from today, now I'll work. A little more distance it is. The fruit. Fruit of success, fruit of name, fame, a little more away. And those who are influenced, those consciousness who are influenced by Sattva-guna, they feel a sense of eternal happiness, permanent happiness, a sense of it, but not fully. They start getting an inkling of what is spiritual happiness, which is beyond the transient sensory pleasures. Bhunam janmanam ante jnanavan ma prabhadyante. Then when he gets this knowledge, when that Sattva-guna is mature, then he understands that he has to surrender to God. Then he understands that Krishna is transcendental. Lord, I am also transcendental. Then begins devotional service. When actually devotional service begins, then it is the influence of Vishuddha Sattva, the mode of spiritual nature, Daiva Prakriti. That is what starts influencing the living entity when he recognizes that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. I have to surrender to him. Then engage in his devotional service. Mam cha vyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samatitaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Here is the secret given. How to sagunan samatitaitan. 3 modes of material nature, how to overcome. By unalloyed devotional service to the Supreme Lord. So whole formula, direct formula is serve the Lord without any motivation, material motivation. Then your consciousness becomes liberated from 3 modes of material nature. But however, this takes time. Even if somebody is starting devotion, just like we all in Krishna consciousness movement, we come and we join. We engage the whole day in serving Krishna. We have no other long-term agenda. Small sense gratification will be there, but at least long-term agenda we don't have. We want to make it in life, we want to do this, we want to achieve this, we want to, like every youngster is thinking like that. But none of us are thinking like that. That means large degree of Rajaguna is cut. You are saved from large degree of Rajaguna. So, we engage in devotional service from day one. We follow what Prabhupada says. We engage in devotional service. Does it mean that immediately we become Sagunan Samatitaitan, Brahma Bhuyaya Kalpate? No, we are not experiencing that freedom from 3 modes of material nature. That is because the devotional service is mixed with Tamoguna, Rajaguna and Sattoguna. So there are 3, so you can see there are various stages of spiritual elevation. Tamasic life, total forgetfulness of Krishna, characterized by a certain kind of material activities. Rajaguna, again forgetfulness of Krishna, characterized by certain kind of material activities. Sattoguna, again characterized by forgetfulness of Krishna, but things are becoming clearer and clearer. There are so many demons in Sattoguna. Need not be Krishna conscious. Then many lives, Bahunam Janmanamante, then Vasudeva, when he recognizes Vasudeva, then he begins devotion service. When he begins devotion service, the devotion service is contaminated with mode of Tamoguna, Rajaguna, Sattoguna is contaminated. So we give up these 3 lower stages, we come to 3 higher stages where Krishna is a goal, and we become, slowly we purify our consciousness from Tamoguna, Rajaguna and even Sattoguna. Pleasures of Sattoguna. Let us say our devotion service is contaminated with the pleasures of Tamoguna. Let's say somebody, even though we are engaging in devotion service, we love to sleep. Like Prabhupada told in yesterday's class. A waste of time. A devotee, pure devotee thinks sleeping is waste of time. But we find it very interesting. That means our devotional service is mixed with the pleasure of Tamoguna. Similarly, our devotion service is mixed with the pleasure of success. Success means what? Material success. Pleasure of successfully manipulating material energy. Successfully manipulating material energy, successfully controlling material energy. That is the pleasure. For Krishna only. The result is fruit is for Krishna only. But he enjoyed succeeding. Not succeeding for Krishna, succeeding for the sake of success. I have controlled the material nature. I have controlled people. I have controlled material resources. I have controlled money. So many things are under my control. Control has to be there in this material world. But do you feel the sense of control is a question. Here Prabhupada established the International Society for Krishna Consciousness. He set up so many controls. But was he relishing the rasa of control? No. So then that is devotion service. Service means anything. You have to control. There has to be material energy, resources, organization, everything is there. But in your consciousness at the soul level, are you feeling that sense of success rasa, of controlling? That is Rajaguna. Devotion service mixed with the Rajaguna. So externally a pure devotee also will look like he is controlling everything. That is not what Rajaguna. Activity is not Rajaguna. People think that no activity is Tamoguna, activity is Rajaguna. Just spacing out is Sattva. Aham Brahmasmi. Walk in the air. That is Sattva. But Prabhupada has saved us from all that, has given us very, very clear understanding. So here it is explained that Vidura started going to places of pilgrimage after burning all his passion, was purified of all passion. And it is said here that it is full of, as Prabhupada says here, that full of politics. After leaving his home, which was full of politics and diplomacy, manipulation, towards something, goal, power, diplomacy, all politics are for power. That's all Rajaguna. So Vidura gave up all the, purified of all that, because he was also part of it, he was advising them, he was part of a royal family. So all the things he gave up, passion, and then started going to places of pilgrimage. And the purpose of going to all these places of pilgrimage is to meet the sadhus who are there, and from whom you start hearing about Vasudeva. All the places of pilgrimage, all the dhams are places where Krishna or the Lord Narayana is engaged in different transcendental pastimes. And the holy dhams, they are not different from the Lord. So our consciousness rubs, touches and gets purified. Just like holy name, touch and we get purified. Everything, all these are all different merciful manifestation of the Lord. So holy dham is also a merciful manifestation of the Lord on this earth, which we can take advantage. And Prabhupada has given us such a wonderful life. He has given us even that, where he said that devotees, they go on pilgrimage, Mayapur and Vrindavan. So very much that is incorporated in our life. Every year sometimes we go, in one of the holy dhams we go. So many holy dhams in this country. We go there and we do not know what happens there. We cannot see what happens there. Because our subtle body, our mind, everything is touching the vibration in the holy dham. That vibration purifies us, frees us from our sinful activities, sinful reactions. So in the same way as holy name does, nothing's, different. What the deity, how there is mercy, compassion from the deities, the holy name, the same way from the holy dham also, we get purified. For that, we have to remain in the holy dham with great respect for that vibration. We should not get contaminated by what we apparently see with our eyes. As Prabhupada is explaining here, that people who go to Vrindavan and they see with the eyes, so many nonsense people, residents are doing all these things, they feel that it is worse than ordinary place. At least Bangalore is better, they will say. It is cleaner, they will say. Oh, how dirty Vrindavan is. So these kind of things are Kali Yuga, it has happened like that, the external manifestation, many things happen. But the pure holy Dham of the Lord, the devotees, that never gets contaminated. Just like Ganges water may look so much mixed with so many things, looks dirty, but the fact is that simultaneously there is a transcendental substance, water substance, just like material water, then transcendental water substance is also there. A one who is able to see the transcendental water substance, one who feels that I should dip in Ganges, he does not care for those contamination. Similarly, one who understands that there is just like deity, this transcendental manifestation, the original Dham of the Lord is here. The original atmosphere is still there in this very place. So that atmosphere, if I have devotion, I will touch that atmosphere. That is important. Therefore, when we go to Holy Dham, with great respect for the Holy Dham, with great faith in what the Acharyas have said, we remember the pastimes of the Lord, hearing from the pure devotees of the Lord who are purified, then we get attachment and attraction towards the Supreme Lord. And attachment and attraction and devotional service to the Supreme Lord is a perfection of life. 3 modes of material nature, we are freed from this material nature. Otherwise this material nature will give you another birth. If you are in Tamoguna, you will go into animal species. If you are Rajoguna, you will be born here. If you are in Sattoguna, you will be born in heavenly planets. Life will perpetuate. And there is no guarantee again you will get Vaishnava association. Any questions?
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
What you explained is acting of material nature upon a grown-up man. A man is grown up, he knows a little bit about knowledgeful. I'm talking about a kid, a baby like 2 years old. She doesn't know whether she is a male or a female. She doesn't know whether I'm a boy or a girl. But if you give them a little ball or something, they feel happy, immediately happy.
Give them?
A ball, something to play, they're happy.
And
if you give them some fruit, and if they've seen somebody doing, they imitate and they're happy. So what kind of material nature acting upon a baby, because they don't know, they're not in the bodily concept of life also. They don't know whether it's a boy or a girl, nothing they know.
Yeah. That every child starts his life in the mode of ignorance. They're all in the mode of ignorance. Children are in the mode of ignorance. As you said, they don't even know I am the body. See, unless they open the eyes, see the body, bodily concept doesn't begin. Isn't it? In fact, the baby when it's born, not everybody takes it by the baby cannot see you. Its eyesight itself develops after some time. Doesn't see, just cries. Only it brings out sound first, not sight. It cannot see. Afterwards it starts seeing, and then it starts identifying, etc., all those things. So obviously it starts at the mode of ignorance. Predominantly all children are in the mode of ignorance. Then by training, by samskara, one by one, if he is in a nice family, then he is given that opportunity by due to his past good karma to develop sattva-guna, nice life. Otherwise, what is his? He has no choice. He can be, by his training, he is put into, his subconscious is filled with all tamoguna, depends on what kind of family he is born. Isn't it? No choice. So all those times karma is acting upon the baby. Because you are born in such a family. Your subconscious is all filled with all whatever nonsense, bad culture, everything is. Or if you are born in a good culture, good things are, good beliefs, good things are put into your subconscious. So only when you slowly become adult, your sense of free will is there. Till then your past karma is playing out. Then your free will for new karma is coming. And your free will to counter the old karma is coming. You can change your samskara. You can change what all your father, mother, everybody has fed into your head in your childhood. Especially when you come to Krishna consciousness. You come in association with the pure devotee. You start chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. You start getting enlightened. and your belief all changes from what you are, your own brother, you will be in the same family, you will see. He has not become a devotee. And his paradigm is all same old. But you started chanting Hare Krishna, your entire consciousness is different. Your thinking is different, your values are different, completely you have become a different person. But your brother, your sisters, your family members, they are all in the same culture, the same consciousness they are in there. No change happens. So just see how changes happen in our case because of the powerful changing agents which we are associating with every day. Our culture itself changes. That is why it is said that Vaishnava should never see from the background in which he is coming. Just like deities, if you see as stone, it is aparada. Guru, if you see as an ordinary person, aparada. Similarly, Vaishnava, if you see him as, he was from a scheduled caste, or he was from a low class family, or he was from this, he was from that, then it is an offense. Because by touching the holy name of the Lord, there is transformation in his consciousness. If he touches properly. If it doesn't touch properly, his gunas will manifest again. There has to be transformation. People have to change. Holy name is like touchstone. It will change. But if you don't touch the touchstone, no change will happen. That faith is required. Jai Grandaraj Srimad Bhagavatam.